Well, Eduardo Rodriguez brought some of his best stuff of the season. Unfortunately, the offense didn't. We have more on this loss to the Brewers right now. Don't go anywhere. Well, this one was a clunker from the Arizona Diamondbacks offense, something we don't see very often. Welcome in to the PHNX D-backs podcast right here on PHNX. My name, of course, is Derek Montilla. Still, at least for now, your mayor of PHNX. This man next to me is the people's producer. It's the one and only Damon Farrell. And, of course, our very own baby boy, Jesse Friedman, will be joining us from Chase Field with more on this loss. But we do at least have some good news when it comes to some of the injury updates that we have for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Of course, this show is brought to you by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app and use code PHNX365 when you sign up. Choose your offer and find out why it is never ordinary at Bet365. And this Diamondbacks team, of course, refuses to be ordinary. They are never ordinary. You're patting them on the back one day for them having the top offense in all of Major League Baseball. And of course, today they are absolutely stifled by Freddy Peralta and the Brewers pitching staff. Damon, they lose this one 2-1. It felt like in so many instances, the Diamondbacks were going to get something going. And then a double play happened, or to the Brewers' credit, just some really good pitching. And the Diamondbacks just couldn't seem to put those hits together in this one.
Yeah, it did feel that way, especially early on, right? With the first inning, getting the bases loaded.
Yeah.
And unfortunately,
it was like, here we go. The Snakes are hot. Yeah.
It felt like, I mean, no, honestly, Shane turned it on because we were here and I just got done doing the Cardinals show. And Shane turned it on in the office and he goes, "Oh, nice, sweet. Snakes are hot." I think it's exactly what he said. And bases loaded, 1 out, and you only get 1 run across. I mean, Pavin Smith gets that RBI. And then later in the game, more to what you're exactly talking about, Pavin hits into a double play right after Christian Walker draws a walk. Like, that kind of just encapsulated the whole rest of the night. Every time that it felt like you were like, well, the one thing we can't have right now, that's what happened.
It's a double play. Yeah, it's a double play. And that's exactly what happens. And yeah, there just wasn't much happening for the offense. And again, to the credit of the Brewers pitching staff, we know how good Freddy Peralta is. We know how good the bullpen was. We covered it on our preview of this team yesterday. But I do have to give credit where credit is due. Eduardo Rodriguez was very good today. And on any other given day for the Diamondbacks, you're going to be really excited about Erod going out there and giving you, 5 innings and striking out 7 and only allowing 2 earned runs. And honestly, he had a slow start. He struggled to find the strike zone a bit, but boy, did he find it. Next thing you know, he strikes out 2 in the first, strikes out 3 in the second. He strikes out 2 more in the third. And I mean, you just started to feel fairly encouraged because we know this Milwaukee Brewers team is a good team offensively and defensively. So when you started to see him do this against, this Brewers team, it started to feel like, hey, we got Zach, feeling like he's back. We got Merrill Kelly getting a little bit back on track. Now here we got Eduardo Rodriguez looking good. And honestly, the end result, you'd like a little more length, and he might be working his way, to that, being a little bit more efficient. But I mean, still 5 solid innings and only giving up 2 earned runs. You got to be pretty happy about that. His fastball and his cutter were working well tonight.
Yeah, this is what I talked about it, I think, last time I was on when there was an Erod start. This is kind of what I expect out of Eduardo Rodriguez, to be honest with you. I don't ever go into a game thinking that necessarily, he's going to be going out there and giving us 4 no-hit innings, like Zach has from time to time, where he can just completely shut a team down. But I think Erod, he's a good pitcher. He's a veteran type of pitcher, and he knows how to limit the damage. So I like what I saw from him tonight. I still don't know that it's enough for me to like hypothetically put him in a playoff rotation over, the likes of a Brandon Pfaadt or even a Ryan Nelson at this point. I don't know that I've seen enough there, but I think, at least for this final stretch run, he's going to get 2 more starts?
Yeah.
Maybe 3. Yeah. So it's good to see him pitching well.
See, if you're a diehard, you know now you have access to Jesse's spreadsheet, so you can go in to our diehard Discord and get access to that coveted spreadsheet. So I mean, I probably shouldn't have said that during the show. I feel like I'm going to cause people to just now end the show and run off and go check out the spreadsheet, man. But again, yeah, like a couple of people said it. Brent Storm said it, which I know it's you, Brent. He said Erod didn't lose it. The Brewers earned it with great pitching, and that's very true. I mean, the Diamondbacks are the most potent offense tonight, and I think there is maybe some things that Torey could have done down the stretch there to, maybe generate some offense. I don't know. The Brewers, bullpen is one of the best in Major League Baseball, and they pitched like it tonight. But so did the Diamondbacks. I mean, you gotta tip your cap to the Diamondbacks bullpen and what they did tonight. 1 hit allowed in 4 innings of work once Erod left the game. Of course, Erod did give up that leadoff single in the 4th inning to Gary Sanchez, and then I think one batter later he gave up the Rhys Hoskins 2-run dinger that ultimately gave the Brewers the lead in this one. But I mean, I know this is loser talk, alternate reality talk, whatever. If he doesn't give up that home run, it feels fairly solid. Like this team could have held a 1-0, game here with the way that the bullpen came in and pitched, because they were incredible. Ryan Thompson absolutely shoved in his 1 inning of work with 2 strikeouts. Everybody came in. Joe Mantiply, he had a great 1 inning of work, and then Torey tried to bring him out for the 8th inning, which immediately felt like a mistake. He walks the leadoff batter, and Torey regretted it immediately and pulled him out of the game for Justin Martinez. And then, of course, just like you imagine it, AJ Puck gets put in the 9th inning, and of all the pitchers to come out of the bullpen tonight, he's the only one that struggles a bit. He didn't seem to have his best command. He walked Rhys Hoskins. He gave up a double to Jory Ortiz, intentional walk to Jackson Chourio, who was as good as advertised in this game. But he still got out of it without allowing any runs. So he just gave up the 1 hit in his inning of work, 2 walks, 1 strikeout. So the bullpen for the Diamondbacks, those guys, that's the guys. Those are the guys right there, I think, that can get it done for this team. And of course, they have a couple of other arms that have been pitching well, but bullpen wasn't the problem. Pitching really wasn't the problem. You can't get mad at Erod for just giving up 2 earned runs in this one. It really was just the lack of offense for the Snakes.
Yeah, the bullpen was incredible tonight. J-Mart was awesome. He faced the 3-4-5 of the Brewers tonight with a runner on base. Yeah, 3-4-5 of the Brewers tonight with a runner on base, no outs, and just mowed him down. That was a great performance out of J-Mart. And yeah, it's weird that the one pitcher that kind of struggled out of the pen tonight was AJ Puck. That's where when you say that they could have held a 1-0 lead, who knows? Because if I wouldn't have felt good about that 9th inning with how it was going if it was a 1-0 ball game. But yeah, the bullpen was great for the Diamondbacks, and then the bullpen on the Brewers side was even better. 0 hits from their end tonight. I mean, that's pretty concerning. That's not good enough. This team has a tendency to just sometimes they're the never say Diamondbacks, and sometimes they're the lay down in Diamondbacks. It's really weird. Did
you believe they're late? Like, I never gave up real hope, and of course they disappointed me, but I didn't give up hope.
They looked bad tonight, though, dude. They looked listless tonight. The Brewers bullpen here, 4 strikeouts in 4 innings and 0 hits given up and 1 walk. I mean, that's just not good enough but that's the thing with the Brewers bullpen is they're really good. They have a really, really good bullpen. So, it's understandable, but we're really going to need some of these games against the Brewers if we want to be where we want to be at the end of this season, and that's the postseason.
Craig Swanson says it's the day off that does them in, especially on a weird week like this with 2 days off. That really could do them in. But
that's another thing that we should talk about. That's concerning at this point. I would say the Diamondbacks consistently lose when they have a day off the day before, and in the playoffs, you have a day off between every game. You're not playing every single night, so that's
their record. Their record is now 8-10 on a game after an off day this season.
Recently, a lot more losses though, correct?
Actually, believe it or not, no. They were I think 0-7 to start the season on days after an off day. Like they were really bad early on. Well, they went through that stretch in July and August where they were just good no matter when they played. But I mean, this is, the unfortunate part is that the Diamondbacks got hot at the right time last year. And this year, maybe not. Maybe they got hot a little too early. I don't know. They have a lot of games, though, to play against this Milwaukee Brewers team. And, of course, in case you needed more bad news, Braves and Mets both won today. Padres are winning and going to win because they're not going to lose. So, of course, there's a lot to be concerned with. And honestly, with the way the offense played today against this Milwaukee Brewers team, there's something to be concerned with. I think, again, with how many games they still have against the Brewers here, and I think that's a reasonable concern, right? Luckily, though, they still have some games against the Colorado Rockies, who came back and smoked the Cubs after the Cubs tied the game there in the top of the 8th inning tonight, and they have games against the Giants too. So those guys aren't easy opponents, but the Diamondbacks have to figure out how to generate some runs against this Brewers team.
Yeah, and Derek, I think this is actually a perfect transition into what I told you before the show that I wanted to talk about at some point. I just wanted to start this off by saying, is this a safe space?
This is a safe space. We're here.
Well, I have to ask, because
we're here to support you. We're here to talk.
Yeah, it's just us. It's just us and the 167 people watching.
Yeah, just 167 of our closest friends, Damon. You're safe.
For sure. Family, I'd argue.
Closer, baby.
The Diamondbacks are now 1 game up on the wild card. I watched last night. I am a Miami Dolphins fan, for those of you that don't know. I watched last night my quarterback's season and potentially career end. Today, I witnessed the hat of the team I'm currently wearing right now, the Arizona Wildcats, go into Manhattan, Kansas, and embarrass the entire city of Tucson on national television, ending any hope we have for a successful season. Derek, you said this was a safe space.
I'm listening.
If the Diamondbacks don't find a way into the postseason, that will crush me. The Diamondbacks are all I have. This sport has ruined my life.
Yeah.
All I have is Diamondbacks baseball, and I need them. I need them to start winning some of these games, especially against the Brewers, because it's getting a little bit too close for my comfort at this point.
Well, Damon, I have 2 words that should cheer you up right now, then. Glove bonanza. Because Damon and I bought ourselves some amazing gloves on Wilson's website during their glove bonanza sale.
Absolutely.
And they've been shipped to us, and they're going to come here, and Damon and I are going to go down to the courtyard and have a catch whenever we have these bad moments in sports. And of course, we're bringing back playoff stashes. So the playoffs have to happen. They have to happen. We don't even need to talk about that. It's the MF and Yops. It's the MF and Yops, Damon. Don't get there. We'll be there. We'll be there to support you. And of course, Ina says Damon is making us sad. It's not the first time, Ina. Damon tends to make me sad at least once per day.
Usually I'm the one with let's have some guts, let's have some pride. But the last 2 days have just destroyed me as a man. This is doing this show right now is really tough. I was watching the rest of the baseball game like this after the U of A game ended. Just the whole time. Just begging for a hit, begging for a run.
Well, Gilbert brings up at least one thing that could cheer you up is that wrestler Joe Hendry winning today was the only good thing, and we all believe in Joe Hendry.
Thank God. Thank God. Honestly, I couldn't sleep at night thinking about Joe Hendry.
Well, of course, we have more here coming for you. We at least have something maybe to cheer you up, Damon, and cheer everybody up when it comes to the Arizona Diamondbacks' current injuries. But of course, we thank all of you for being here in this safe space to support Damon and support this team. I mean, but we do have to give out our King Snake. Maybe nobody deserves it, Damon. Maybe nobody deserves it. Nobody on the offense definitely deserves it tonight. But I'm giving it. I don't care. I'm like I could give it to the entire bullpen because they earned it, but I'm giving it to Eduardo Rodriguez because Erod came out and he gave this team a chance to win tonight. 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 7K. Someone brought up the throwing error that was a bit egregious, and there's still some things with that with Erod that's frustrating at times. But I do feel like a lot of it, what we're seeing is a guy that's slowly getting back to that guy that the Diamondbacks acquired, right? That's coming off of a major layoff, a major injury, and unfortunately, it's slower than any of us would like. It's just an encouraging night. I think the 7 strikeouts, considering that he really didn't have swing and miss stuff, is a step in the right direction for him. The 9 whiffs on the fastball, he was locating it. It just looked like he kind of ran out of gas there in the 5th inning, and at least he got through it. But of course, you'd obviously like to see, you'd like to see a little bit more length out of him before you get super excited about it. But in a game like this, this has to be our King Snake.
Yeah, it was a good game from Eduardo Rodriguez tonight. I think this is kind of maybe the better end of the spectrum of what I kind of expect from Eduardo Rodriguez. But you're absolutely right. He did his job tonight. You can't expect anything else out of him. Can't expect anything else out of the bullpen. This night is completely on the offense. 2 runs is a game that you should win every single time. If you play an average game, even if you play a below average game, well below average for this baseball team. So yeah, it's a listless night from the offense and pretty good night from the pitching staff all the way around.
Well, of course, the Diamondbacks, like I said, have a lot, and there's a lot to still be encouraged by. It's just a matter of, this first game confirmed for us a lot of things about the Brewers, and especially, some things we discussed on yesterday's show, which is they are a good team that people don't give the credit to, and especially that bullpen is excellent, and we saw that tonight. Hopefully the Diamondbacks can find a way to get the thing done tomorrow. But of course, we thank you guys for being here with us tonight. Tonight is what matters right now. Of course, if you haven't subscribed to the PHNX Sports YouTube channel, do so right now. Sign up for notifications. That way you don't miss whenever our shows go live. And of course, hit that like button. Drop us a like. We appreciate it. Makes us feel better. We're having our, we're in our moment of being sad about sports. So you guys can always help pick us up as well. Of course, if you're listening on the audio podcasting side, make sure you're subscribed on your favorite audio podcasting app. Leave us a review. We appreciate those reviews so much. They do mean the world to us. Of course, also, we got to talk about a few of our partners before we get on to a little bit more from this game. First one being our friends from Empire Today. We have talked about Empire all this week, but that is because now is the time to get some stuff done, right? We're going to get busy here for the holidays. Halloween's coming up, followed by Thanksgiving and then Christmas. It's just nonstop from this point. Now is the perfect time. If you were looking to get your flooring done in your home, check out Empire Today and the wonderful options that they have to offer. Of course, working with Empire Today is easy, quick, and convenient. They get someone in your home that day and eliminate all of that back and forth to the store. They also have their virtual floor designer, which is a great way to see how any of these floors will look in your home. And of course, they have a curated selection, which means they're not going to waste your time with a lot of bad designs and a lot of bad options to look through. They're going to find what you're looking for and provide you with the exact kind of flooring that you are seeking for your home. And of course, like I said, now is a great time to do so because you can get it done before the holidays, before that friends and family come over. Schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive a $350 discount when they use promo code PHNX. Restrictions do apply. See empiretoday.com/PHNX for details. And I'm too sad to sing the jingle. I don't have that kind of joy in me to give the Empire Today the proper love that jingle deserves.
I definitely don't.
No,
There's nothing in my life to smile about, Derek.
Right. I get it. I'm about to get on board with Thunderbolt. I saw Thunderbolt was here. I'm about to get on board with Thunderbolt. I'm just going to start revolting against everything right now. But of course, Z-Biotics is a probiotics company, pre-alcohol probiotic drink. And of course, it can help you recover, especially from losses. Sometimes after losses, you want to drink the night away. Of course, make sure that Z-Biotics is your first drink of the night, and it will make sure that you will have a good tomorrow morning, even if you want to get this game out of the way. Pre-alcohol, of course, is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic that was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. The way they've explained it is that when you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in your gut, and it's the byproduct, not the dehydration, that feels like dehydration, and that's the blame for your nasty day the next day. Pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. All you got to do is remember to take Z-Biotics as your first drink of the night. Drink responsibly, and you'll feel your best tomorrow. No matter what sport makes you sad that you want to get over, and go have some drinks at the bar, get the most out of your summer. And of course, the fall too, by stocking up on pre-alcohol now. Go to zbiotics.com/PHNXbacks to get 15% off your first order when you use PHNXbacks at checkout. Pre-alcohol is backed with a 100% money back guarantee. So if you're unsatisfied at all for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember to head to zbiotics.com/PHNXbacks and use that code of PHNXbacks at checkout for 15% off. All right. What else we got here, Damon? Of course, I don't want to look at these numbers, but these numbers don't look so bad if you're looking at it from the Diamondbacks perspective defensively. So let's take a look at tonight's count presented by Desert Financial Credit Union. Diamondbacks, of course, are outscored 2-1. Both teams had 6 hits. Both teams did not get a hit with a runner in scoring position. The Brewers were 0 for 7. The Diamondbacks were 0 for 4. Brewers were 3 extra base hits, and of course that one home run being the big one there that changed things. And of course the Diamondbacks had just the 2 extra base hits, and then expected batting average, of course, in the Diamondbacks' favor at 270 to the 217 for the Brewers. So another night where baseball doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but this was a close game, and the Diamondbacks just couldn't figure out a way to manufacture that extra run. That's something that they were much better at last year. Of course, when things weren't going their way offensively, it felt like they could get runners on and figure out a way to get them over. Tonight was one of those nights where it felt like they were just waiting for that big home run that never really happened.
I think that's a good description of it, Derek. Like last year's offense, while I don't think any of us would argue that this year's offense isn't better because they very clearly are, the last year's offense was really good at situational baseball. They were really good at getting a guy on, getting a guy over, getting a guy in. And this year, it feels a little bit more based off of big home runs, big extra base hits. Like they need guys to come through in big moments. And it's, again, like I said, it's worked out for them. They've had a better offense this season. But if they could somehow encapsulate that spirit of last year's team into maybe the power that this year's team has, we'd be talking about an offense that is tailor-made for the playoffs. So,
or recognize the monster in front of you, which is one of the best bullpens in baseball, right? So like recognize that you're not going to maybe get that big hit, you're not going to get that big home run, and adapt to the situation. Like, yes, you can let your hitters still swing for the fences in games and such. I'm just saying in this one, especially there in the 9th inning, you're going against one of the best closers in the game. So you're really, you're not really left with a lot of options other than trying to figure out a way to get a base runner on somehow, be patient at the plate, make them work, have them make a mistake, and just get those hits that get guys on and get them over, right? So this one definitely was a stinker, but we'll see how they bounce back from this in game 2, which of course we do know in regards to the whole game after a day off, they've been much better the day after a loss. So we'll see how they can respond to this one. But we do have more from Chase Field, and of course the perfect guy to help us break it down and give us some more from the clubhouse and more from Torey. It's the one and only Thunderstick Jesse Friedman. Jesse, welcome in. Big blurry Jesse. He'll get cleaned up here, and there he goes. It's the longer the image stays on you, the more beautiful you get. But this was not a beautiful game. This one was quite ugly. Diamondbacks, of course, offense kind of goes missing on a night where their pitching honestly did practically everything they could to give them a chance to win.
Yeah, just one of those days, right, where you just feel like it wasn't meant to be. I think you already showed the XBA numbers, right? D-backs were up at 270, I think it was. So there was some tough luck maybe on their side, but also this Brewers bullpen is really, really good, and the D-backs obviously let some opportunities get away. With Freddy Peralta, he allowed 10 base runners in his 5 innings of work. Like, he really had a shot to do some damage against him, especially in that 5th inning, which maybe I'll talk more about in a second. But this Brewers bullpen, our buddy Kurt Hogg, who I interviewed for On the Record earlier today, just tweeted out an insane stat. He said that Brewers relievers have allowed 3 earned runs over their last 59 1/3 innings. And I'm trying to comprehend like how that's possible. So yeah, this Brewers bullpen is one of the best in the league. We talked about it coming into the series, that they had the 2nd best bullpen ERA in all of baseball. So you kind of knew that it was going to be tough if you were down with some of those back end relievers coming in, and sure enough, they were able to close the door.
You said you wanted to talk a bit more about that 5th inning. That's when things kind of started to unravel for Erod, where mistakes were compounded. I mean, obviously he was able to get out of it, but things kind of got shaky for him right then.
Yeah, I mean, I guess for Erod, the 4th inning is where he gave up his 2 runs, right? Reese Hoskins hit that 2-run shot, and Erod, you know, I thought overall this was a step in the right direction for him, right? 7 strikes.
Right.
We haven't seen much swing and miss from him this season. I think he came into tonight with a 13.5% strikeout rate, which is really, really low. People talk about Erod being a pitch to contact guy, not that much of a pitch to contact guy. Like, you need to miss more bats than he was missing in his first 6 starts. And he did that today. He had, I think it was 12 whiffs, which is a pretty decent number, over 90 pitches, and he had 7 strikeouts. But at the same time, you did see him, you know, look a little bit less sharp in those 2 final innings. Torey said after the game, and Erod confirmed that he was definitely trying to persuade Torey to let him go out there for a 6th. And Torey said, in maybe another situation where the D-backs have a bit of an advantage in the game, maybe in that world, Torey would have been willing to do that. But you could understand this was a 1-run game, and Torey wanted to keep it there. And to the Diamondbacks bullpen credit, to the credit of their bullpen, that group was really good today, right? 4 scoreless innings, exactly what you would have hoped for. They kept the deficit right where it was, but unfortunately, what felt inevitable for the D-backs offense, it felt like, of course, they would score at least 1 more run,
right?
Last innings, and it just never happened today.
Well, and I mean, maybe that's part of it, is that you know, Torey and the Diamondbacks have kind of been used to being able to do some damage against the bullpen, and that's not the case against this particular bullpen that is very, very good. And honestly, you got to tip your cap to the Brewers for how they performed tonight, because they really took care of business, and they understood how important winning this game, especially this first game against Diamondbacks. We know, you know, we kind of talk about it. I think maybe it's grown a little bit bigger than the Diamondbacks record actually is, but they haven't been very good in days after an off day, right? They had that off day. They had 2 off days this week, in fact, and the Diamondbacks are now 8-10 this season after an off day. So they're not exactly sharp after an off day, but we do know that they're good after a loss. And we also know that this team still played a very good baseball game today. Like, it's still the offense didn't play a good baseball game, but the Diamondbacks, defensively, they gave themselves every chance, you know, that you could expect to win a baseball game, especially considering what this team is normally capable of on offense.
Yeah, and that takes me back to that 5th inning for the offense, where I thought the D-backs really had an opportunity to try to maybe not blow this game open, but at least take the lead there in that spot. And it started off well, right? Corbin Carroll singles, so you've got the fastest guy, one of the fastest players in all of baseball on base to start the inning. And then very quickly after that, Ketel Marte hits a 113.3 mile per hour ground ball that inevitably goes right to the second baseman, right? And turns into a 4-6-3 double play.
Yeah.
So that's killer. Suddenly it's 2 outs, bases empty, right? But then Jock Peterson knocks a single that was 111 miles an hour off the bat. Christian Walker drew a walk after that, one of 4 walks for him in the game. So you've got something going again with first and second and 2 outs. And then Pavin Smith hits a pretty long fly ball. It was 104 miles an hour off the bat. And as we have seen many times in this ballpark, center field that's not where you want to hit the ball if you're trying to get it out. And
it was very long.
Yeah. So that winds up being a fly out. But I mean, just in that inning, like you had a single, it was a solid line drive, and then you had a 113 mile an hour ground out. You had a 111 mile hour line out or line drive single for Jock Peterson. Then you had a walk. Then you had a fly out. There was 104 miles an hour off the bat. Like, just in terms of kind of the under the hood look at that inning, like that's an inning that you feel could be resulting in 2, 3, 4 runs for you. And yet obviously that's not what happened. So that was the key inning for me. Outside of that, I mean, they did have some other opportunities for sure, but that was when it really felt to me like, all right, this just isn't the D-backs day. You know, they're like actually really hitting the ball hard, maybe getting something going against Freddy Peralta, and it just ended the way it did.
Well, we actually have more from the clubhouse. Here is what Pavin had to say in regards to that near home run that he almost hit, that we all kind of held our breath there for a second thinking Pavin did it again.
It's too high in the wrong part of the ballpark for sure. I definitely put a good swing on it and barreled it up, so I was happy with the swing, just under it a tad.
Did you have a chance?
For like half a second, but I've hit balls there too many times. I was hoping maybe somehow, and it seemed like it was coming straight down, so it might have been able to go into like that little overhang, but yeah, I was definitely talking to it while I was running to first, but it's no avail.
That's a tough pitching staff over there, isn't it?
For sure. Peralta has one of the best fastballs, I think, in the big league. So, yeah, it just gets on you. It looks a little weird. And yeah, and then their back end of their bullpen's very good too, and they also have lefties to match up with guys. So, yeah, credit to them tonight. They did well.
They did a great job, unfortunately, against this Diamondbacks team. And, of course, we'll have more here from the clubhouse and more from Jesse. But first, we do got to talk about Branded Bills. Damon, of course, was rocking his beautiful Branded Bills hat. And right now, you can check out their entire line. Branded Bills has Halloween hats right now. Go check out. They have an awesome pumpkin one if you want to get set for October. Get yourself seasonal like this guy over here. I've become known that I have a shirt for every occasion around the office. At least that's what they say. You can be that guy with Branded Bills. Of course, you can look for your own gear to be made by Branded Bills as well. We're going to have some PHNX hats coming from them. They have partnerships right now with ASU and U of A with their campus collection, and they are a local company from right here in Mesa, Arizona. So head to brandedbills.com and use code PHNX for 20% off your first order. Jesse, did you end up stealing that Branded Bills hat? The U of A one that you decided
well, you see, I was gonna, and then after I started watching a little bit more U of A football, became a little bit hesitant about my decision. So I returned the hat.
Got him, Jesse, got him. Oh man, he got him. That was good. You roasted him. All right. Well,
I'm sorry, Damon. I'm sorry.
No, it had to be done.
Maybe Damon. Maybe he can convince me still. Maybe it's still possible.
He thought we were in a safe space, but he is definitely not in a safe space.
Well, I thought we talked about this, Derek. I thought we talked about the safe space.
Jesse didn't agree to it, apparently.
Jesse, what the heck, man?
I was
like, you're so lucky, Jesse, that we have these new guidelines from Samsung right now, because I want to say some nasty things to you after that just completely uncalled for shot.
It's a tough night. Tough night for the Cats. Damon.
Oh, brother. Jesse, our Cats. It was a brutal night. Really discouraging and
picked
makes
up the cap and put it on, Jesse. I'm just saying, that was like the day you selected which university you were going to go play quarterback for. That's the way that works. But
Jesse, you're a hoops guy.
Stick to hoops,
it's almost
Jesse.
basketball season.
Stick to
Who even
hoops.
cares?
Yeah,
That's fair.
well,
That's fair. Yeah.
I care. I still care about football because we have some amazing tailgates coming up at Chicken and Pickle, including one this Sunday. So make sure to join us out there if you haven't done so already, because it's going to be a blast. You get to come hang out with me. I don't know if that's a highlight or not, but what you can do is come check out the wonderful food Chicken and Pickle has to offer. It's literally changed how me and Damon make chicken at home. Like, we're stealing their recipes because of how good the food is. You can also say goodbye to interrupting your fun. And you could get all of this all at once. Get your tailgating in, watch some football, hang out. Even if you're going to the game, stop by Chicken and Pickle. It's the perfect place to start off your day. You can also go there anytime. It's a great place for gatherings. It's a great place to celebrate birthdays or just get together with your friends. So make sure to head to chickenandpickle.com to see all the fun you can have at their Glendale location. And let me tell you, it's gigantic. There are gigantic battleship, gigantic checkers. Everything's gigantic there. Food's kind of normal sized. It's not like Brontosaurus things and like Flintstones. I'm using references Jesse's not going to get. Again, I'm sorry. We'll move on and we'll get back to the Diamondbacks game, but make sure, like I said, to join us out there at Chicken and Pickle. Of course, Jesse, this one, not a lot to talk about because neither team, again, it's like, as much as we want to kind of get on the Diamondbacks for their lack of offense, Brewers didn't really do much outside of that Rhys Hoskins home run. But this one, again, it getting to the point when you look over your shoulder and you see all the other teams won. Padres won, Braves won, everybody won, right? The Mets won. You got to start feeling nervous, and you got to start maybe thinking Elise was right about us needing to win every baseball game.
Yeah, you frankly couldn't have drawn up a worse night for the Diamondbacks as far as the standings go. The only silver lining is that they did not lose a game on the Dodgers in the NL West because the Dodgers lost to the Braves. But that's not really all that helpful for the D-backs at this point.
I need more good news. I need good news. Do you have anything pregame? We need to talk about some maybe positive things about Gabi and Lourdes, perhaps.
Yeah. I think you might see Gabi play at Coors Field, Derek. I think it might happen. He is getting close, and Torey used that phrase to describe both Gabi and Lourdes. But both of those guys are going to play tomorrow, 5 innings in a game out at Salt River Fields. And Torey said he expects Gabi back before Lourdes. And he said that it is possible that Gabi could go from playing 5 innings in that type of environment to playing a 9-inning major league game. So, of course, you kind of hold your breath a little bit when you think about bringing a guy off the IL at 5,000 feet elevation. Mm-hmm. But Torey said that they would just be cautious in that situation, and so I don't think that's a total non-starter for them. It sounds like it's very possible that Gabi gets activated.
Well, here's what Torey had to say about both Gabi and Lourdes.
Gabi's slated to play in a game tomorrow, a camp game tomorrow, 5 innings, totally unleashed, going after it and showing us what he can do. So once we get to that point, we'll know what Sunday means and Monday means. I'm not yet committed to telling you anything beyond tomorrow and him playing those 5 innings. Lourdes is also going to play in the game tomorrow. And get some at-bats. And if I had to choose between one or the other, I would say Gabi first, but Lourdes. And it's coming. They're getting very close and both feeling very good.
That's surprising there to hear that Gabi will be back before Lourdes. I felt like Lourdes' injury wasn't that significant. We were going to, see him back here pretty quickly. And, of course, it's still encouraging to hear he's going to be back soon, but I guess surprising that Gabi will be back first.
Yeah, I think today was the first day that Lourdes was eligible to come off the injured list. And originally, Torey said that he was hopeful that this would just be a minimum IL stay for him.
Right.
So, yeah, obviously that's not going to happen. It doesn't sound like Lourdes is going to return for the Rockies series. Maybe he comes back for the Milwaukee series. Although, again, it's not a guarantee that Gabi comes back for Colorado. We'll have to see how things go tomorrow. But yeah, a little weird there for sure. I mean, you hear a calf strain that doesn't necessarily sound like a super serious thing, but I mean, to Pavin Smith's credit, he's done a pretty nice job filling in here over the last 10 days. And again, he didn't miss that ball by very much, right? If that's a 3-run homer, then you're looking at a 4-2 D-backs lead at that point. And with how the bullpen pitched the rest of the way, that's probably the difference in this game.
Yeah. Well, of course, the Diamondbacks also got some reinforcements. We didn't get to see him in this game, but Gilbert Diaz, of course, we've talked a bit about the move in Reno. We kind of saw something coming in regards to him being a potential option for the Diamondbacks out of the bullpen, and now he gets called back up. Here he is, and it's I guess a good weapon to have with how good Gilbert's been.
Sí, que iban a hacer una transición porque me querían dar la oportunidad de subirme a Grande Liga y esa era la única oportunidad que había, era esa de venir del bullpen.
They're transitioning because we wanted to give him another opportunity. That was the only kind of opportunity available for him to come back here.
It's a pathway back up.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
What is sort of the best thing about being back up here?
El mejor aspecto de poder regresar y estar aquí de nuevo.
¿El mejor qué?
¿Cuál es el mejor aspecto, la mejor calidad ahorita de poder estar aquí ahora?
De ayudar al equipo a jugar playoffs.
To be able to be here, help the team make the playoffs.
It's awesome. It's awesome for him to be here, but it's also interesting that I think it's just a matter of options, right? The Diamondbacks have enough starting pitching depth that they don't need to keep him ready and stretched out should something happen.
I think so. Yeah, you still have Tommy Henry down there, who's been pitching really pretty well for AAA for a while. I know it's been a long time since we've seen Tommy Henry in the big leagues at this point, but he is still down there as an option if the Diamondbacks wound up having a need here in these final couple of weeks. But yeah, Gilbert is not stretched out. He is going to, Torey was pretty clear, he's going to work 1+ maybe 2 innings at a time. It will be interesting to see what that transition looks like. He had just 2, I believe it was, bullpen appearances down in Reno, and they were separated by like the usual amount of starters rest that he would get. So he hasn't pitched, with like 1 day in between outings, much less pitching on back-to-backs or whatnot. So that'll be interesting to see how that develops if the D-backs feel the need to be pretty cautious there. Obviously, with the expanded rosters right now, you don't necessarily have a ton of pressure like, oh, we need to use Gilbert like 3 out of 4 games or something like that. I think they're probably safe on that front. But yeah, I mean, he obviously, I think he earned this opportunity, right? Slade Ciccone was obviously struggling quite a bit, and Gilbert continued to have success down in Reno, and his fastball averaged 97.4 miles an hour in his most recent outing down there. So you can imagine the stuff kind of plays up a little bit in that bullpen role, and we should get to see it in a big league game here pretty soon.
Well, what else did Torey have to say in regards to tonight's loss? Because I'm sure this one isn't too devastating, but it's got to be a little frustrating to see the offense kind of fall flat on a night where the pitching staff gave you such a great opportunity to win.
Yeah, I think the overwhelming theme is definitely that it just sort of wasn't the D-backs' day. It wasn't like they lost this game by, being overly aggressive or having a terrible approach, or, certainly it wasn't their best night offensively, but sometimes things just sort of don't go your way. And here's Torey's sort of initial statement on how this game went.
We created some opportunities. We threw some traffic out there, 5 walks, I think 6 hits. So we built some innings. We just couldn't get that big hit. We couldn't get into that space where we had the slug that broke the game open. There was a couple of opportunities. We took some really good swings. Pavin just missed a couple times clipping a ball. I thought Hosey had a really good approach on a line drive ground ball to first baseman. So I'm not upset with the approaches. It just, the results didn't happen today. So we just got to keep banging away at it. And traditionally, this team has been throwing up a ton of runs, and that's why I maneuvered into the bullpen the way that you saw today. It just never happened. I thought Erod was solid. It's only 2 runs in 5 innings. I know he wanted to go back out there for a 6th, but I felt like he had done his job and was going to turn over the bullpen. And we got real stubborn in the bullpen as well. Just couldn't get that big momentum push on our side, which created some sort of an offensive output. It was just 1 2-seam fastball that missed on the plate to a really good hitter that's hit a lot of home runs in his career. He's probably sitting on the pitch and waiting for it, and that was a difference in the game.
Rhys Hoskins is driving a lot of us nuts, to be honest. And I mean, again, gotta tip your cap because he also had some great defensive plays as well. But Erod, I'm not upset about Erod and a night like this. I mean, again, you can't expect him to be perfect, but what you can expect is, him to go out there and duel with one of the best starting pitchers in baseball. And that's exactly what he did. And he might have got slightly outdueled, but he went out there and gave this team an excellent opportunity. And I mean, especially early on with the whiffs that he was getting on his forcing fastball and those, two strikeouts in the first inning, 3 strikeouts in the second, 2 more in the third. Like early on, he looked as sharp as we've seen him in a Diamondbacks uniform.
He was good. He was good, no doubt. It was kind of a strange day in terms of just the number of whiffs on the fastball was kind of strange for him. I think it was, if I can find the numbers
9
here, it was 9. Yeah. And so 9 on the 4-seamer, 2 on the sinker. So 11 of his 12 whiffs came on fastballs,
right.
which is kind of odd. Like Erod has, not a terrible fastball by any means, but it's not a fastball.
I think he maxed out at 93 or close to 94.
93, 94. The velo was pretty normal today. It didn't seem like it had a ton of extra life or anything. So I think he was generally putting it in pretty good spots, and that helped him out.
Locating.
I think the flip side of this outing for me is, in my mind, the pitch that we just haven't really seen come around for Erod that's a really important pitch for him is his changeup. And that pitch, I can't really judge too much in this game because he just didn't throw it very often. He threw 10 of them. So that was just 11% of his pitches were changeups. But that pitch, we did not see a single whiff on that pitch today. He did not throw it for strikes, really. Only 2 of his 10 changeups were in the zone, and he didn't get a single swing on a changeup that was out of the zone. And so for me, not to say this isn't a step in the right direction for Erod, I think it absolutely was, but that's a really important missing piece for him that this outing didn't really change. So that'll be definitely a thing to watch for him moving forward.
And especially the consistency with the fastball. If he can keep the fastball where it's at now and get that changeup online, then that's where he found his success, in the past with the Boston Red Sox and such. So, of course, we have more from Erod on his outing tonight. And, of course, on that Rhys Hoskins damn home run.
I feel like overall it was great, I feel like it was locating very well, but so the only pitch I feel like I missed in the whole game was a sinker. And, I mean, when you miss a pitch, you pay for it. It's been happening to me the last 3-4 games. It's been happening. I miss a pitch to the wrong guy and I pay for it. But overall, I feel like location-wise and everything was really good at it.
Where were you trying to go with that pitch to Hoskins?
I tried to go sinker in, front hit, and I missed it to the heart of the play and where his bat is. And he just hit it. He's just a really good hitter, and he hit it out, So I don't know if I look at it very well, the result could have been on my way, but he made a good swing on it and hit the ball out.
Man, in a game of inches where it was this close, that's all it took was him missing just by a little bit, and especially, on a night where things weren't going the Diamondbacks' way in a lot of other ways. That's it. That's the deciding factor is a pitch missing by a few inches to the heart of the plate.
And yeah, as Erod said there, that kind of has been a trend where, he's got knocked around pretty good here in these last few outings. There's been a lot of loud contact, and frankly, there was a lot of loud contact today as well. It wasn't just that Rhys Hoskins home run. He was missing a decent number of bats. He was getting strikeouts, but Brewers hitters, I think their average exit velo against Erod was in the 94 to 95 mile an hour range. So there still was quite a bit of hard contact in this game. I, in the moment, thought the pitch call there was maybe a little odd. I know it was a sinker as opposed to a four-seamer, but I think all but one pitch in that at bat had been a form of fastball for Erod, and it felt to me like maybe at a certain point you want to try to switch things up and go a different direction. Torey, after the game, when I asked, was sort of like, I trust the process that Erod and Hosey had in that spot. I'm not going to second guess what their decision was. It was just a poorly executed pitch, which, yeah, it clearly was. It was a sinker that just got way too much of the plate. And it's funny now, Derek, to be thinking about an alternate universe where the Diamondbacks sign Rhys Hoskins. I'm not sure that's something they ever were super close to doing, but it's certainly something that you and I discussed over the offseason when we were, looking at all of their options.
We liked Rhys Hoskins.
Yeah, Rhys Hoskins was definitely near the top of the list. And despite what he did today, he really has not had all that great of a season. His OPS is right around 700. Yeah. So Jock Peterson has been quite a revelation for this team for sure.
Did Torey at all have anything to say about the team's performances after an off day?
He did not. No, I think, early in the season, that was a pretty big talking point because the numbers were awful. And then,
they were like 0-7, I think, in the first month and a half on days.
Yeah, it was
something close to that.
Yeah, it was pretty bizarre. And then there was the day where Paul Sewald, talked to Torey and had him switch up some things they were doing before the game.
Right.
And
no batting practice.
Yeah,
right?
I think that's what it was.
Practice.
And maybe some changes to their meetings or whatnot. And that sort of changed things. And suddenly the D-backs were winning the first game of basically every series they played. And I guess more recently, maybe things have kind of shifted in the other direction. So I don't necessarily view that as a huge issue for this team. I think today this was just an example of the offense having a pretty good approach, but some bad luck combined with a Brewers pitching staff that's really good. There wasn't really a lot of bad luck against the bullpen. The Brewers bullpen was genuinely dominant in this game. But it was mostly sort of like that group is.
It was mostly blowing that opportunity against Freddy Peralta early on in the first inning when you had bases loaded. Like, you really needed to take advantage of that. And obviously Peralta is the great pitcher that he is for a reason, right? Even when he gets himself into a jam, he can pitch his way out of it. And I guess it was just frustrating because it really did feel like with the way games have gone for this Diamondbacks team, it felt like things were on pace. Like, oh, here we had a tough task against a big pitcher, and instead the Diamondbacks are just gonna smash him early on, and that definitely wasn't the case. And after that first inning, they did not have very many opportunities to score on Freddy Peralta or the bullpen going forward. So again, maybe a lesson learned here that when they do have those opportunities, especially considering that this team has been able to score so many runs so early in games, that they have to do more to take advantage of those, even if it involves playing a little bit more strategic baseball and not necessarily relying on the guys just going up there and mashing like they do against, other teams. This team's different.
Yeah, I do think like they did have some other opportunities. I think like in the third inning, bases empty, 2 outs, and then Christian Walker hits a double and Pavin Smith walks. But as Pavin Smith takes ball 4, Christian Walker tries to take third base on a ball that just leaked away just a little bit from William Contreras. And we did talk with Torey about this after the game, and Torey said that Walker just needs to sort of trust his instinct there, where if he goes immediately to third base, he's probably in there safely. But he kind of started in that direction, and then he stopped and he started again, and he winds up getting thrown out at third. So obviously there were 2 outs in the inning. You don't know exactly how things are going to go, but that's a missed opportunity for sure. You mentioned the first inning as well. Maybe they could have done better than just the sac fly by Pavin in that spot. And then the fourth inning, there was also a 2-out double in that frame by Geraldo Perdomo. And then Jose Herrera hit a ball very hard down the first baseline, and Rhys Hoskins made a really, really nice play, as you mentioned earlier, to rob Herrera of what would have likely, given the Diamondbacks the lead at that point, or I guess not given the Diamondbacks the lead, but at least tied the game. So they did have some opportunities, and it's not all their fault, but there are some things that they could have done better for sure.
Well, you don't lie, and we know you don't lie, and we know Espo, he's radical and he's dangerous and he lies, even as our new GM. I probably shouldn't.
I was gonna say, yeah.
I probably shouldn't be saying that about him anymore. I'm in a weird predicament now with this whole mayoral race, considering that this man also does my reviews and gives me money. But of course, we know the numbers, no matter what, they never lie. So Jesse, what do you have for tonight's number that does not lie?
Tonight's number is 14, and that is the number of home runs that the Diamondbacks had hit in their previous 4 games entering today. And sometimes that's just the way it goes, Derek. In this sport that we all love, you hit 14 home runs over 4 games.
It's a stupid sport. I hate this sport so much sometimes.
And then you don't have a hit. You don't have a single home run, obviously, in this game. I think the D-backs just had 2 extra base hits, I want to say, just the doubles by Walker and Perdomo. So it's tough to, as much as you want to say like the situational hitting maybe could have been better. It's difficult to score runs when every hit is a single, right? It's just a bunch of singles and walks. And that's kind of what it was for the D-backs tonight with just those 2 extra base hits.
Well, I know the perfect way to get over this loss, of course, and Damon, you know what to do. Damon, we're gonna go to Gila River Resorts and Casinos. That's the perfect way to get over this. I mean, no one does it better. And when you're sad, what can make you feel better is throwing $20 on red and seeing that little ball spin around and land on it. And they can do that at one of the 4 wonderful locations at Gila River Resorts and Casinos here in the Valley, because they got live table games. They got blackjack tables. They got over 4,500 slots. And of course, they have some amazing sports books. So make sure to go check out Gila River Resorts and Casinos. When you're sad, make you happy. When you're happy, it'll make you happier. It's a great place to have a great time. And of course, you can check out the resort side of things. You can check out the casino side of things. You can do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Let them show you what the next level is all about. Make sure to go over there, enjoy yourself, have a great time. We will be hosting events there all year, including Cards and Sons watch parties and more. So stay tuned and make sure you come hang out with us. So again, you do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playathila.com for more details. Damon, you good with that? Can I go on the boys trip this time? Can I go on this one? I figured since maybe if I started this one, I could actually go on this trip, but I don't know. Maybe we need to go on the road trip that I missed out on, which is my fault. I understand being rejected here. So maybe we go on a road trip. We take a Rugged Road cooler with us. We can do anything with a Rugged Road cooler, Jesse. We can throw it in the water. It floats. We could take it on a river trip with us. You can take me on one of those hikes that I very much don't want to go on, but I'll go on with you because Rugged Road coolers are lightweight. We can track it up. As long as I can put beers inside of it, we'll be okay. But of course, you should check out all that Rugged Road has to offer. They have some amazing products that are durable and dependable. They're crafted to handle the toughest environments, and they are built to last. Plus, they're perfect for all sorts of outdoor activities, which is all Jesse loves to do. He wants to just make me walk up a mountain and then look at the sky and show me how beautiful life can be. And I'm just like, ugh. Anyway, you go get yourself a Rugged Road cooler and get ready for all of your adventures this fall with Rugged Road coolers. Head to ruggedroadoutdoors.com and use code PHNX for 10% off your order. Lightweight, durable, and always floating upright. Perfect on land or on water. So leave your old heavy cooler at home and get yourself a better cooler for a new season. Rugged Road, your ultimate outdoor companion. It's either Rugged Road or Cosmo. I don't know. They're both very good outdoor companions, but Cosmo does not typically come with beers. So maybe Rugged Road is the perfect outdoor companion. But Jesse, we will, of course, see each other again on Monday. See the rest of you guys on Monday. It's not going to be our typical Monday show, by the way. We are going to be doing a post-game show on Monday instead of our normal Mailbag Monday show. Jesse is going to be in Colorado. Speaking of road trips, speaking of needing one of those Rugged Road coolers to go with him, he's going to head over to Colorado and watch this team play the Rockies.
Yeah, I'm going to try to take the Rugged Road cooler as a carry-on. And then I'm just going to stuff it with a beer in your honor, Derek. And
I appreciate that.
I'm not
it's
sure.
It's going to be weird, though. You're not going to drink them.
That.
Like, you're just going to take them with you, and then you're going to end up having to bring them back with you, and that's I appreciate the sentiment, but that seems unnecessary. But
will it fit underneath the seat in front of me, Derek? Do you think the Rugged Road cooler
but they might make one that's that right size, but I guess I was suggesting you drive, and I forgot that we don't make you drive all over the country anymore. Now you actually
not to Denver. Not to Denver. That's a bit of a jaunt.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, you still have to wear all of your clothes. We're sending you on Spirit Airlines, and you're not getting a single bag to check in. But looking forward to that coverage next week. So Jesse will be in Colorado bringing us more from that series with the Rockies. So make sure to join us on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for those post-game shows. And then Archie will be back with us, and I believe Jesse will as well on Thursday. Yeah. So make sure to join us all next week. We don't have a lot of regular season games, so things are getting exciting. Playoffs for the Diamondbacks start now, so make sure to keep it plugged right here to PHNX. You can also follow us on Twitter. I am at Cap_caveman with a K. Jesse is at Jesse and Friedman. Of course, the people's producer, Damon, is at Damon Dog. That's DAWG. And we are Damon's Dogs. Bark, bark. Our show is at PHNX_D-backs, but of all roads do lead to at PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Well, we thank you guys so much for your time. We hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Make sure not to miss all of the wonderful content that we have on our website for you guys, including Jesse's On the Record and so much more, so many more updates. So keep it locked right here. And of course, like I said, Jesse will be in Colorado, so we'll have stuff for you next week as well. Keep it locked to the PHNX YouTube channel. And until we meet again, we hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it's so much more fun when your offense can actually do something when it's the best offense in baseball.
We all silly like the mayor.